From the Brood to Edge and Christian to the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist, and having to retire due to neck fusion surgery. Who knew if Edge would ever come back? He did at the 2020 Royal Rumble, and through trials and tribulations. Is this it? Can we see clearly that Edge is retiring for life? That he may go to All Elite or just go home with his wife and kids? We shall see. But regardless, thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge. 25 years of Edge, and if this is it, truly one hell of a goddamn career where he fought through a whole lot just to get to this moment to retire in his hometown. And what a big old crowd that was. Anyway, I'm John Reckton with my review, WWE Smackdown from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I want you guys to stay tuned to the end of this review if possible, just because I have a particular message at the end. But that being said, and it's not wrestling related, just want to say, don't worry, channel is not going away, just want to say that. Edge's 25-year anniversary, and if we really wanted to break it down, it's been more like he's actually been active for about 14 or 15 of those years, because he was gone for about 9 years because of a neck injury. And, I mean, it's a miracle that he was even able to have a quality of life, because he talked about all the issues that he had and having to get back into shape, and then Sheamus encouraging him after that bike ride video and everything, and I was like, holy shit, he might actually be all right. And then he came back, and even though a lot of people knew he would come back at the Royal Rumble, holy goddamn shit. I may do a video about the 25 best matches of Edge's WWE run. We'll see. We'll see. But they got, they've got all the hype, big old crowd, 14 some odd thousand people. I think they count everybody in the building, but still 14,000 people. Toronto, hotbed of professional wrestling. Card rundown, Grayson Waller effect, already in the ring. And Santos and Ray are his guests. And Grayson's trying to drive the wedge between. This does not look like driving the wedge at all. This does not. It looks like a different kind of, world order. Nevertheless, let's talk about the fact Santos is not jealous of Ray. He's not jealous of Ray. He's not jealous of Ray. Now, maybe the shock will be the Santos beats Ray clean, and it's just a show of respect and a true passing of the torch moment. But Santos really laying it on thick here. Now, the LWO shirts are really selling well. I'm not saying extend something to the point that it shouldn't be, that it should be totally goddamn stale. Oh, hi, Bullet Club didn't see you here. But LWO, as far as what they're doing with it, it's over. The WWE, fans are really enjoying it. They're gobbling the shit up. And then here's Theory. And he was screwed, and he wants Pierce to make it right. And then Pierce shows up after LA Knight comes out and says, hey, wait a second. Theory, you lost, and I want my shot. LA Knight got a big old pop. There were some good exchanges here, so check out this segment. That's just the baseline of it. And he suggests, how about I face Theory for a shot at Ray? I wrote down, just after that, I said, watch Miz interfere or distract. And then he shows up to watch and do commentary. I hate being right, but also it was obvious because Miz had implied that he was going to take on, or go SmackDown to target LA Knight. LA Knight versus Theory, winner faces Ray. I get why Miz was on commentary. It was a little bit overbearing. He had a couple good lines about Knight. The thing is LA Knight, I'm not saying they need to make him WWE champion. He wrestles a safe enough style that even though I think he's 39 or 40, if I recall correctly, somewhere in that range, he could conceivably be good for WWE for another 5 or so years. So capitalize on it. He's selling a lot of merch. And Miz, at this point, even though he did sign a new contract with WWE, I would be very, very surprised if Miz is still wrestling by Mania 41. Because he may want to manage. And he may, even though he's been virtually injury-free, he has been with the company for almost 19 years now. Think about it. He was part of the 2004 Tough Enough. We're coming up on 19 years of that. So Knight was bleeding at one point, making him the victor. Shout out to Derb for that. Not that he's watching. He's busy. But he would get that line if he was. The crowd loved LA Knight. And the match was fine. Theory's boring. He's decent in the ring, but he's just boring. If he's the future of WWE, then Endeavor might as well get out of their deal. Miz distracts. He does a really bad, attempt to go over the top, with a clothesline and everything. Can't even get that right. But nevertheless, roll up 1, 2, 3. Theory wins. I'm not surprised. Once they telegraphed that LA Knight and Miz were feuding, there was no way LA Knight was going to win this match. Now, they got to be smart and have LA Knight eventually win a championship. If he's on SmackDown, have him win the U.S. title. If they were to switch him to Raw somehow, he could be the one to beat Gunther, even though I think they've locked Gable in for that. And again, Gunther better not lose the title on Raw. And then various talents weigh in saying thank you, Edge. Cena, Sheamus, Charlotte, Natty, Miz, Zayn, and then others later, Ricochet and such. So, package on Edge's moments. The 25 years, okay, look. He's fought through a whole lot and everything. He did debut in 1998 and didn't really suffer any major injuries until, I think it was like February 2003 when he had the neck injury. And he still had a hell of a run. Multi-time champion, tag, mid-card, world champion. And Io gently scissoring the ropes while Bayley and Dakota just, stand right there and watch her. Nevertheless, I wish I was at top rope is what I noted. Bianca and Charlotte against Io and Bayley with Dakota. But can they coexist? The match was fine. It was fine for what it was. It was given a good amount of time, and that's good. Shotzi did not show up during this whole thing. I actually expected they might have had her do that, but nope. Well worked. Io got the crossface. I noted I wish Io would choke me like that. I do not have issues. You have issues. And there was knee focus on Bianca because Bianca's selling the knee and everything from SummerSlam. Charlotte seemingly rolls her ankle. I mean, actually, I hope she's all right because she took a tumble off the top. And then Bayley, after Io takes a shot into the post, Bayley tags Io's ass. Never mind. And Bayley cannot get the victory. She gets laid out with the KOT. So, of course, Bayley gets pinned. But then again, Io is the champion, so it makes sense. And then Cody, Dolph, and others talk about Edge. The Profits come out. Does anybody want the smoke? Who knows? Damage Control then attack Bianca while she's being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, who looked fucking incredible tonight. Beats her up. Pearl Harbor job by Io. Good old Gorilla Monsoon line there. God, I miss Gorilla Monsoon. And then the Profits beat the OC. I mean, it's nice that the Profits are a little more heelish. They went with a sky-high neckbreaker variation. And Lashley is pleased. Lashley is 47. They might make him a manager, and he has said this is his last contract that he will be signing, at least as an active wrestler. He can still move well, and if they want to have him as a player coach, so to speak, I'm fine with that. Bloodline recaps. Kayla is trying to get stuff out of Heyman. She's poking and prodding him. I wish she'd prod me. But he says, well, you're asking all this stuff. What about your family, Kayla? And that was a little bit biting. It's a little bit mean. Kayla's talked about some of that stuff and everything. But, I mean, I'm sure Heyman went over the stuff with her. Then he gets a phone call. Jimmy Uso will be here next week. Sheamus then makes his entrance at 6:28. Next week, Jimmy returns. Ray versus Waller. Ed shows up to a big old reaction. Crowd singing along. He's high-fiving the fans. Beth and the kids are in the front row. Various other family members and friends and stuff like that. Really cool. Good to see. Good shit. Edge versus Sheamus. I'm not going to try to recap the goddamn match as far as incredible moments and just the atmosphere is something that you have to watch. If you don't watch anything else on this show, watch this. Watch this. For the first time, for the last time, until the next time. And Cole even said, if this is truly it, tear the house down. Can Edge win his last match? Yes. Yes, he did. I'm sure there was talk probably of Sheamus winning, and Sheamus probably said, no, Edge needs to win. So the crowd was into this. There was a powerbomb to the floor. Sheamus is the youngest person in this match, and he's 45 years old, and has spinal stenosis and such. And I don't think Sheamus has much more than to Mania 40, maybe Mania 41, and that's stretching it, because he's going to be closing in on 50. Well, it'll be 47, but still that's closing in on 50. Spear to the floor, and then a Canadian wrestler / family man who won the Royal Rumble from the #1 spot, is doing the crossface. Hide your kids, hide your wives, it's Edge. So, superplex and the execution for 2. White noise, the Celtic cross for 2. 10 beats of the Bowery, just beating his chest, and then does it again because Edge is antagonizing him. We get a bro kick for 2. 1 spear, and that's just a 2 count. But then second super spear, 1, 2, 3. Edge wins this last match. Big old pop. Beth is emotional. Obviously, the kids are very happy. And he hugs Sheamus, and we go to black. Is this it for Edge? He could come back. He could have one more, because this is the last match of his contract. He could have one more match at Mania 40. He's already a Hall of Famer. He doesn't need to be inducted in the Hall of Fame again for the second, for another 3-year run of his career. Because they really thought that he was done. He thought he was done. Everybody thought he was done. So, could he go to AEW? Conceivably, yes, if Tony Khan wanted to back up the Brinks truck and he could team with Christian, he could face off against FTR, except that might be in possible danger because of certain things I will talk about on the Collision review. This is it for Edge? Great. He's almost 50. He's going to be 50 in October. He's talked about how it's difficult for him to get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. No, he's talked about how difficult it is. If he wants to retire, what else does he have to prove? He's won the Rumble a couple times. He's been a multi-time champion. He's main evented multiple WrestleManias. What else does he need to do? Now, the thing I wanted to say that was non-wrestling related at the end, and this is... If people have followed me on social media, and if you followed me for a while, you know that I'm an animal person. Well, the producer, who I brought on these videos multiple times... We had a heat wave. I'm trying to have some humor here. He was starting to act a little bit strange over the last little bit. He wasn't eating as much. He wasn't drinking. I think he was dehydrated because of the heat and all that stuff. So I took him into the vet, and we did some tests and blood work, and that'll come back on Monday, and we'll find out and everything, and meds and whatever to try and cure this. And it was a good amount of money that I was able to cover. If you want to help out, sure, find me out. You can, check my Twitter or my X and find my PayPal QR code. That's not what I'm saying. If I seem like I'm a little bit off for a bit until I find that out, that's why. Because the cat, we could never decide if he was between 3 or 5 years old. That's what the shelter decided. And I got him in 2017. So he's at least 9, probably 11. I'm guessing he's somewhere in the middle. I love that cat dearly, and I'm a little bit distracted and scatterbrained. So that's why, if it seems like this week I've been a little bit off, that's why. So I will continue to do videos, but I do want to say that if something happens and it's something severe, or if it's something, if it's the worst case scenario, and there are maybe reviews I don't do, for a little bit, then I hope you guys understand. So I like that cat. It's a good cat. Good kitty. Hug your pets. Keep them close to you. He's a good animal. He's a fighter. I just wanted to say that at the end. So, thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge. Is this it? Who knows? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Reckland. Thank you, Edge. I'll see you soon.